Hey guys! I forgot to change the video. Let's try this again. They could hear us, but they couldn't see us. Hi guys, my name is Christa,
I'm Kevin.
and we are the husband and wife team behind LCRC Raceway. We are a hobby shop and off-road and oval track in central Pennsylvania. We are a husband-wife team, so that means we go through the ups and the downs and all the things in between, and we hang out every Wednesday night.
We do.
For about an hour.
Hump Day Happy Hour.
And we call it Hump Day Happy Hour. Thank you for joining us.
8-scale, off-road, sort of our more premier track that we're very successful with. We also have the 10-scale oval that we do run some 8-scale Nitro late models on during our pit party events, during our off-road events. And lots of RV parking and pretty elaborate facility, I would think, for RC events here on the East Coast.
Yeah, and that's our claim to fame is when you come and stay at LCRC Raceway. It is more than just going to an RC race; it is an event. The facility, like Kevin said, has camping, and we have electrical spots. How many electrical spots do we have, dear?
Somewhere between 42 and 46.
That's pretty good.
I lose track. But yeah, we, constantly expanding on that and, always changing, trying to reinvest in the facility and make things better. And I think we've done pretty well at that over the last 5 years or more.
You're right.
Yeah.
So thank you for hanging out with us. We have some friends online that I would like to say hello to. Hello to Taylor. Thank you for always being the first on. It's like you're at work with nothing better to do. Hi to Dennis Brew. Hello, Amber. Hi, Jody and Rob. There is our friend Shane and Michelle and Tim and Josh. Happy Wednesday to you as well. There's our friend Robin. Hi, good to see you. And also Alex and Ed. Good to see you.
Hey.
There's Brandon. Thank you guys for hanging out. We have lots of fun stuff to cover tonight. There's things going on. There's always things going on.
Yeah. It's been it's been quite a 3-day stretch here this week so far. I feel like it should be Friday. But
I'm going to adjust you.
why?
Oops. I'm going to go that way. Sorry about that.
Oh.
Kevin and I it has been really busy around the farm. So if you're new to hanging out with us, along with all of our fun RC stuff that we've been doing, we also have a 1870s farm that we are working hard to restore back to its former glory. The house was built around 1870, and there's also a huge bank barn there. This week, our friends from Steidinger Brothers Excavating have been working on installing some driveways, putting a swale in. Oh my gosh, the swale.
Moved a lot of Moomaw earth.
There's a lot of
last 3 days. I tell you, between the goings on at the farm with the driveways and the swale and changing the backyard and everything. She just said there's also been a lot of Steidinger brother activity here on the shop property.
Yeah, so we'll talk more about that when we talk about our upcoming events. But yeah, there's lots going on here at LCRC as well as the farm life. I've started sanding down the wood floors. We've started. I shouldn't have said I'm sorry.
That's fair. Somebody asked me this morning about us working on it yesterday, and you did well. You and Dad were doing it. You and your dad, and you guys did 85 to 90% of it. I just stepped in at the end and
made it look pretty. He let us do the hard stuff, and then he came in and did the finish work. You gotta love a guy like that.
Kinda, yeah.
But no, I mean, it was nice because we got to the point where I was wearing out.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard work. No doubt.
It is very manual. So we got a drum sander and an edger, And we did our first room. It really turned out nice. I wish I would have queued up a picture of it, but
Yeah.
it really turned out nice. And now I'm working on the hallway before I start doing some stair treads, and then down the stairs we go. It's dirty work. I mean, I was looking at the pile of laundry as I was getting ready to come down here, and I'm like, I've got to do laundry because of all this dirty, sawdusty. Ugh.
Yeah,
So
it's
anyway, we're on a mad dash to try to get this done before the season opener, which you guys know now is less than 30 days away.
Oh, yeah. Did Taylor give you a count?
I think he gave a count on his Facebook page, but he did not throw it in the comments yet. He's clearly slacking. It's fine. It's not like he's at work or anything. But I think we're 29 days away. And
so it's like next week then.
it feels like next week then.
Yeah.
So what was I trying to say? Oh, we're on a mad dash to try to get a lot of these house projects done before the season opener. By the way, my friend Michael is in the comments, and he wanted to know if it's going to be the same layout for the season opener.
That's a big definite no.
No.
Pipe is already off. Some jumps are wrecked. There's new dirt piles added. There's a lot going on here. I don't know how to explain it all to you without like having you have been here and see it all, right? I mean, there's just so much going on. We had an open practice last Saturday.
Yeah, it was cool. We had a lot of friends come.
Yeah, and Mother Nature didn't play very well.
No.
And
the wind in this area has been crazy lately.
Yeah.
It's just wild. Hey, babe, I know you don't know this, but every time you're looking at me, try to like go around your mic a little bit because you actually kind of like turn away from the mic. So I have the headphones in. This is just me being wife/production. That's just your reminder. Yeah, use that.
Yes, ma'am.
Use that little thing and adjust it accordingly. Anyway, back to it. Alex says he's only going to take 2 showers between now and the season opener.
I hate to tell you, Sunshine, you ain't living our life if you're only getting 2 showers between now and the season opener.
Taylor said only 12 sleeps away. So that if that tells you anything about Taylor's lifestyle right now.
Yeah. Young pups can handle that kind of activity. I can't.
Not us.
Yeah.
Is there a new track feature?
Yes, there's lots of new track features. As soon as Cody and I dream them up, I'll be happy to share them with you.
Yeah.
I just talked to Cody tonight. I haven't even told Christa. Him and I were texting back and forth. I'm gonna finish wrecking the jump dirt, and in the midst of these other things we have going on in life here and at the farm, which we're gonna explain a few of them. I just caught a comment, and I'm pretending I didn't see it.
Okay.
So we're gonna prep the jump dirt next Tuesday, which those of you who don't know what that means, when I wreck the jumps, the dirt sort of crumbles up and whatever, but we like to what excavators call pan pile it, and as I pan pile it and crush the bigger lumps up so that it's easier to use when we go to build the new jumps, Cody's there with the fire hose and knows exactly how much moisture to put back into the dirt so that it's perfect when we go to build the new jumps. So I'll get all the jumps actually wrecked between now and Tuesday, and then he's coming Tuesday, and we're gonna prepare the dirt, get the pan piles made, and we're gonna mix in these 2 new triaxle loads of super clean screened clay that was removed from another spot on the facility as of today. And get that all mixed in and get it ready to go. And then next Thursday, we're going to do some dream casting and, potentially, paint some stuff out and start building some jumps. Unfortunately, for me, my quote unquote free time or spare time might be a little limited at the end of next week because my lovely wife is going off on a little trip.
Yeah, by the way, I was thinking about this, and so I'm headed on a trip with my friend Allison. Some of you may have heard of her from J Concepts. And her and I are going together to a, it's like a personal growth conference, but it's
Tony Robbins, right?
It is not Tony Robbins. I wish it was Tony Robbins. It's Brendan Burchard.
Oh, that's right.
Equally as amazing. Ed Milet will be there, and there's a whole slew of great speakers that we're going to, but we're going to be there for a 3-day conference. But I was thinking, we leave next Wednesday. Maybe I can talk Allison into having a Hump Day Ladies Night where the two of us cover
I didn't even think of that.
Hump Day next Wednesday. If not, it's you and who?
No. If you say, if I'm doing Hump Day without you next Wednesday, it'll be a Facebook Live from my phone out of the front door of the cat in the middle of the track.
I will enjoy it. That'll be fun. Hey, Brandon, I'm not ignoring your comment, but we're going to circle back around to that. So just hang out. We're going to talk about the pond and the oval track and lots of things here in just a little bit in our section about upcoming events, because that is what we're going to highlight here.
Yeah.
P&B is definitely out of the question. We have so much going on that it is just crazy.
Maybe P&B 26. We'll see.
Shane Yoder says Kevin and Alex for the Hump Day Happy Hour. Which Alex?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, no. Listen, it's not so much about the actually doing it. It's all of the stuff that us non-techie people would maybe describe as all of the crap that you have to do in preparation to put this on. She works all day and sometimes 2 days ahead to prepare all this stuff and get it all up and going. And there's more electronic equipment sitting here in front of us than I've owned in my life, in my own personal life. So I don't know how to use all this crap.
We have a new camera, but I wasn't able to get it up and rolling for tonight. We'll do that for not next Wednesday, but the next Wednesday after that. So I'm really excited about that. Toby from 46RC got that, helped us locate the right camera. So super excited to have that. I'm excited about the camera work I can do with that. Hey, I want to make sure you saw that Shane Lauk said that he's offering to jump in the skid loader and help move dirt if you need between now and next Tuesday.
Can you run a skid loader as well as you can sell a house? That's what I want to know.
So Shane wants to know what was in the Oak Island room at the farmhouse. I am so glad that you asked. Did we talked about that last week, the Oak Island room? Or did that happen after Hump Day? I don't know if we shared about the Oak Island room.
I was just going with it because I don't know.
I think Shane Yoder was here. So if you missed last week, or if we didn't talk about it last week, one or the other, if you guys have ever watched the Curse of Oak Island, or what is that? What it's called, the Curse of Oak Island?
Yeah.
It's a treasure hunting show. There is this island in, is it Scandinavia?
No, Nova Scotia.
Oh, that was close. Nova
No,
Scotia.
it's not anywhere close. It's actually just north of us, up the coast.
Oh, yeah. So, supposedly, the Knights Templar, right? Kevin watches this all the time. So, buried treasure on this island. Is it the Knights Templar? Mm-hmm. Okay. Buried their treasure, and they can't even figure out what decade this happened. And I'm talking like
centuries ago.
BC, like long time. No, some of it was BC. When they found a coin and it was from like 100 BC or something. Anyway, watch the show. I don't know anything about it, but as we've continued to pour all kinds of time and money and energy into this house, I keep making the joke that like we're going to pull up a floorboard and find the money pit. And if you ever watched Oak Island, you know that they are searching for the money pit. That's where the treasure is. Guess what? End of last week, Dale is moving some dirt and getting ready to put the swale around the back of the house, and he uncovered the money pit. True story. Only problem is there's no money in it.
In the early 1900s, it was better known as a cistern, but yeah, the joke was we found the money pit, and yeah, all that was in it was some 150-year-old water and a couple.
I don't know. We did not
pipes.
drain it out and go in there and sift anything out. There is a very good chance that was gold, and now it's buried forever.
Well, it's not buried forever. We can dig up your new porch patio and get it out if you want.
It was a 10 by 10 by 10 box that was bricked in, a cistern that we did not know that was there, that was directly behind the house, right next to the kitchen. We found the iron lines that ran from that cistern over to the basement and also over to the milk house. So it was pretty cool. Anyway, unfortunately, no money. Or at least none that we found.
We put money back in the pit. We didn't get any out.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, awesome. Should we move on to our very first segment?
That depends. What is the first segment? I'll let you know.
I was thinking we could talk about upcoming events so that we could show the picture of what's going on over at the Oval.
Sure.
Let's do it. Okay, up first. In LCRC Hump Day Happy Hour, let's go. Upcoming events.
Dum da da da.
Dun, da, da, da. Okay, so now I'm not sure if that's working. That's not working. Why is that not working? I hate when
So while she's working on working, yeah. So we've had lots of discussion in the last month or two about the Dream Race and moving it back over to the permanent oval and doing all the things. Well, guess what? The big bank track, yep, it ain't there no more. It is now a big flat footprint, as you can see.
Oops.
Wow. Viral
So
weight loss video.
It is not yet into the pond, but it will be. The pond was still full of water, which we have been draining out.
Yeah.
So we will be moving that dirt over and filling in the pond. So that's the answer to Brandon's question about that. And then they're flattening it out. It's unbelievable the amount of dirt that was used to build that oval into that high bank. You have to see it to believe it.
So we skimmed off, well, I skimmed off and Peter loaded 2 triaxle loads of clay off the oval, right? And that literally looked like a pebble on the beach compared to the amount of dirt that's over there from the big banks. And I moved, I probably moved 3 triaxle loads of topsoil with the skidder, and Peter was just 953 in the crap out of the big banks and all of the fill that was there. It's insane. Just the amount of soil, the earth that was moved today, pretty crazy, especially considering 4 miles down the road at the farm, we had the exact same thing going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've moved a lot of earth, and
True story.
It's the landscape. Like a lot of things are going to change, not just for the obvious for the oval track and the oval people or the oval events or however you want to talk about oval, but it's also going to drastically change the off-road as well, because we got rid of the big banks, which means we got rid of the big banks. So now there's going to be a lot more square footage of flat for like turn 2 is going to gain. I can't tell you how many.
I mean, that is
extra
just
square
really
feet.
prime pitting area.
Yeah.
So it is going to be great for both oval and for off-road. The dream race, that's going to be extremely prime pitting because it is so close to the oval too. So, yeah, Tyler, believe it or not, we do have a oval event. Please
Just
forgive us if we have misspoke, but oval event is the Dream, which is the first week in August. We're very excited about it, getting some work done to that track to get it ready.
Did you got the video to play?
I did. I did play it. I played it. Do you want me?
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't. I had to close it down because it was on to viral fat loss or something.
Oh, okay.
So,
see, this is why I can't do this without her, because I won't.
But it's on our Facebook and our Instagram. It's currently in our stories. So if anyone's interested in seeing it, it's already there. We also posted a reel today I was going to show you all about our season opener, which is another one of our upcoming events. We are having season opener on April 24th through the 27th. We're so excited. Shared some video from last year's event to just try to remind you how much fun we have at these things. Can't wait to have you guys back.
Yeah, I know the questions and the pressure are going to start mounting about the 8-scale nitro late model stuff at the off-roads. And before anybody even asks, a definite big no for the season opener.
Yeah, we never do it at the opener. It's just with the cooler temperatures. I mean, if you've been here for one of our 8-scale nitro late model, those motors are a little finicky because they are tuned to run. So you would not want to be trying to get those to work in really cold temperatures, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's tough when it's 90 in the shade, but yeah.
Ask Jay Zellner. Anyway.
It's tough, but there'll be a lot to see when you guys arrive for the Flashpoint season opener.
Excited to share.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're moving a lot of dirt, and we're not going to roll back in some pre-bought sod, when we're done. So it's going to be a little tough with the whole growing grass and making things super sweet.
This is a good time to remind them too. I always, especially around the season opener, I post a lot about when you're coming to the season opener, you need to wait for my dad or for Kevin before you park. Yeah. And I make a big fuss about that. And you guys are like, okay, I've been doing this for long enough. I do not need to stop and wait. Bob and Kevin are cool with me. They know I know how to park this thing. At the season opener, it is different because the ground is still so soft. Like right now, it does not take very much to really sink in. So we got to be extra careful at the very beginning of the season so you don't have ruts later on. I hate fielding complaints from people later that are like, oh, there's ruts here in my spot. Who they put the ruts in that spot by driving through an area that wasn't prepared to be driven through. So just wait for help to be parked for the first race, and you'll understand why and appreciate it later on in the season.
Yeah, for sure. To add to that, everything she said, we're also going to have all of these new areas that were freshly excavated, and they might be sort of solid if it's dry, but if we get a little rain that week, or if things are going great and we do have some stuff seeded, we might actually have a few areas roped off, and it might be a little awkward, and just
we'll work together.
Work with us, because we're only doing this to make it better for y'all. So
Dennis says Saychuk was epic. Do you remember? Well, you remember. Yeah. Saychuk was epic. He definitely got buried. Poor guy.
Nothing tops Rob. No. With no trailer on.
Oh,
no trailer on.
Okay. Yeah. Don't beat up on Rob.
Why?
Because he's not here to defend himself. Okay. Should we move on to every Wednesday we do Hump Day Happy Hour yard sale.
Oh. Yard
So
sale.
let's jump into the yard sale. We have 3 items available for tonight.
See, yard sale is actually something that I could do by myself because I've actually been doing the back end work for that the last couple weeks.
You have. I'm
Yeah.
very proud of
Yeah.
you. So I have no idea what you have for them tonight. Would you like to share with me and with our friends
Sure.
what you have up for grabs? And I will try to share a link with them.
First up is going to be for the oval crowd. We've got some DE. They are, I call them street stock tires. They're the ones that have the smaller on the outside and bigger on the inside.
These are $40 for
It's
the set.
Well, there's actually 2 full sets in here. They are balanced, and I'm sorry, I don't know what compound they are. I assume they're 40s. You know, the soft one. A couple of the rears are heavily weighted. Again, in the spirit of, I believe it was street stock that these were prepared for. A couple of them are they're barely dusty. Oh, they're white dot. If one of you oval guys can help me out, what DE white dot is, I'm pretty sure it's 40.
They can't see
But
them.
tread wise, I mean, they're mint. They're not like the corners aren't even knocked off.
Hold those up
Well,
first.
the one set has a few more laps on it than the other. The one set, I don't want to say they're feathered, but they're not as sharp as the other set is like brand new. Yeah, again, there's the brand new looking fronts. You know, pretty sharp.
Mm-hmm.
There's the other set of fronts that has a little bit of time on them.
Yep. All of those are in lot 1 for $40.
Two full sets, $40.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What is
It's
our
$5 a tire.
lot number 2?
I'm getting there. Lot 2 is $80.
Lot 2, I don't know. Lot 2 is $80. Yes, sir.
It is a Hobby Wing V3.1 120 amp 10 scale speed control. Still has the factory wires on it. Has a Tekin sensor wire hanging off of it. Has the 2 cap capacitor hanging off of it. This thing's going for $80. It came out of the car that it went into brand new that had been on a shelf for probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 plus years. Obviously, it was a good, clean running car. And this is exactly how I pulled it out of the car. I didn't clean it up or anything. So, aluminum case. You don't have to worry about the case breaking. Fans in good working order. Again, Hobby Wing V3.1 120 amp, $80.
Just a reminder, in case you're new, our yard sale lots are all available on our website. I threw a link on the Facebook page in the comments. So those things are available until they sell. So even if you watch this tomorrow, if there's still a quantity 1 available under a certain lot, that just means it's still available. You can even grab it after the fact.
And we can ship these items just the same as new items. No
Absolutely. As a reminder, anything over $100 from LCRCRaceway.com ships free, and that includes our yard sale items.
Third item is a Futaba receiver. It is an R334 SBS, and it is the FHSS SR as far as the language in which it speaks to the radio. I believe it's the newest, latest, greatest stuff from Futaba. This sells new for $99.99. We are listing this for, Christa, can you help me out? I believe it's $65.
It is $65.
$65 for this receiver. The coaxial antenna is mint. The case is mint. All the tabs are intact. No cracks. No, like it's
Good to go. Okay.
Yep.
There you go.
It's not brand new, but it looks like it.
That is our 3 Hump Day Happy Hour yard sale items. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to jump right in to Dish the Dirt. This is my attempt to not be on here late tonight. We've been running late every Hump Day Happy Hour, but not tonight, honey. Can we condense this conversation into a half an hour?
Yeah, it just depends on how much you want to debate the comments and banter back and forth.
Well, we'll see how many comments we get. Okay, so tonight it was suggested to us by our friend Alex to dish the dirt on sponsorship. I know that if you are in the RC hobby, you have heard this debate before, but maybe not from a hobby shop owner couple like us. So what we are talking about is the sponsorship dilemma, where certain companies will choose what has been known in the hobby as a contract customer, meaning you give a small discount in order to gain a customer and have them use your products. So want to dive into our I feel like you're staring me down.
I am. We've had this debate or this discussion how many times? Probably a year. For how many years, right? Like, I've even been thinking about it since you and I talked about it an hour or so or two ago about doing it. Like, I just don't. Wow. Like,
Do you want me to dive in and then you can piggyback off of it?
Well, there's a lot of banter about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know that there is an absolute solution.
No, I definitely will agree that I do not have the absolute solution. I have a suggestion and something that I feel like we can kind of work on to get to a solution, but I don't have a solution.
Yeah.
Alex says it's kind of lame. I get the sponsors completely. We all want to save a buck, but I feel it's slowly killing the brick and mortar. Taylor says this sounds like a long story short. Okay, so let me jump in before we jump into the comments. Do you mind if I share?
Yes. Do
you mind?
No, I just don't want to forget what I was going to say back to that.
Why don't you make a note on your, or do you want to go ahead and say it now?
No, it's all good.
Okay, so as a hobby shop owner, Kevin and I have done this now since 2009. Is that right?
2007, honey.
I think officially we started racing in 2009, didn't we?
Started racing in 2008. We were making laps in 2007.
Okay, long story short.
Sorry, you asked.
I know, but that part was not that important. Now we're diving in on the start instead of the... Okay, so we have been in the hobby shop business for a long time. And sponsorship has... Anyway, I want to talk about the life cycle of an RC racer. What I have learned in my time in this hobby shop is that customer RC racers come and go.
Of course.
New RC racers are very difficult to obtain. And I would say that the work that we do to obtain new racers, it covers most of my job. This video that we're doing right now, Hump Day Happy Hour, started as a way for people to get to know us a little bit better, to take down a barrier for them to feel more comfortable to come racing, to walk in the door and buy parts from us, to buy from us online, that they would be able to see us and know the people that they were working with. It's the same reason that we do the visitor's guide. It's the same reason that Kevin has so much loyalty towards the companies he works with on a regular basis. Because when we choose a product and represent it, it is important to us that you know us and that you know that we're reputable and that we share reputable companies and we stand behind them. I would also say that new racers come, they come from the grassroots. So it starts from word of mouth. It starts from a buddy telling a buddy. I was telling you the story. I was talking about Rodney Heil. I feel like he's gotten a lot of friends into RC racing.
Yeah.
And when that starts, I feel like whether it's us and you coming into this hobby shop and saying, what car should I get? Or where should I start? Or if you're talking to your buddy who already races that you're like, I'm kind of interested in this, but I don't know what to do and I'm kind of overwhelmed by it. Those are the people that get you into this hobby and that truly sell you on the hobby, but also on the brands that you will come to love over the lifespan of your RC career. I think when we get into sponsors, those people are the ones that deserve, the ones that are starting people into this hobby are the ones that deserve to have the discount, we'll say, right? Like if I'm going to say someone, I don't think it should be based off of how you perform in a race. I think it should be based on how much you sell.
So I'm
Please.
What wins on Sunday sells on Monday. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That was a big NASCAR thing back in the heyday, right?
Yeah.
Well, if driver X wins on, the opener, I'm not saying that publicity doesn't help that brand to sell cars. But what I am saying for sure is that if driver X is good at promoting the hobby, or if he happens to be a professional, I'll say paid industry employee, the number of cars they sell, it's not, in my opinion, they're for the most part, their performance, meaning like how many wins they have, isn't what sells the most cars for most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like Rodney Heil, for example.
Yeah.
He's a great
He's
salesman.
Brand ambassador.
Brand ambassador, that's correct.
When we were talking about this, and I was talking about Rodney in particular, I'm thinking about even myself. Like, if you love a product and you feel comfortable with it, you tell your friends about it, not because you're trying to get anything out of it, but because you want them to have the same wonderful experience that you had. And that's what Rodney's going for. He is not, I don't think that he is seeking out a big sponsorship deal. I don't think he's sponsored by anyone right now, but he cares about the people in his life that he's trying to get into this hobby. And therefore he says, hey, I want you should really use this because I've used this and I'm having really good luck with it. And go ahead.
And so expanding on the Heil situation, because I don't remember if you were actually in on this conversation or if it was just me and the boys, but so the whole Turn 2 crew, they're, for the most part, they all drive Mugen cars, right? And obviously we support that, meaning that, we have a really good stock of Mugen parts in the store, and if the store doesn't have it, Kevin probably does, and so on and so on. And the Turn 2 crew guys, like, they know that and they rely on that. And so, again, back to Rodney, when he's trying to get his buddy to do this, he's like, dude, you should get a Mugen car because, number one, when we're out in Turn 2 and it's broken or you want to try and fix something or tune it, like, we know those cars.
Yeah.
And if not, I know a guy that does.
Not to mention, when you break that A-arm, if they don't have it in the hobby shop right now, one of the 6 of us in this group are going to have it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Which is helpful and important when you're choosing a company. So, and I would say that most of the people, like this Rodney Heil situation, he got into the brands that he uses now because of our support of those brands.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm bringing it back to the hobby shop because a lot of times it starts with a fire. And obviously, LCRC fully supports Mugen. We have lots of other brands here. We have support for lots of the highest brands. But Kevin drives a Mugen, has as long as I've known him. And therefore,
that's not true.
Okay.
It's not true.
Go ahead, and you want to tell them the story then.
Well, no. Do you remember when we met Chris Moore? He came here with the Pettits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I didn't have a Mugen then. We didn't even know who Chris Moore was.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole grassroots thing, that's the whole deal. Like, the guy, he is the North American kingpin for Mugen, and came here. That doesn't introduce himself as anything other than, "Hey, I'm Chris. How are you doing? Nice to meet you." And you know, it's what drew me to being so loyal to the brand. They were never. Chris was never out for, you have to win so many races or do so well. You just, you need to be family background, be a good person, help your neighbor, and that's where we came from with our ATV career.
So, what I was getting back to is you've supported Mugen as long as we've been a hobby shop, really.
Yeah. Okay.
But in turn, a lot of other people have gone Mugen because of our suggestions or our encouragement to go in that direction. I'm not disagreeing with what you said. It just doesn't add to the point of what I'm trying to get to.
I know.
Thank you
it's off
for
topic.
giving a long story short there, right in the middle of my sentence.
I'm sorry.
But what I was getting at is, I would really like to see there to be some kind of solution where these brands would choose a regional hobby shop to be like their brand ambassador and allow us to give sponsorships on their behalf. I think, I don't think every brand would be a good pick for me on this. I think it should be the brands that I support the most. So, like, for example, you guys know I keep a ton of J Concept stuff. If we brokered a deal with someone like J Concepts, where instead of them giving our regional racers a discount directly, that they were able to give us a percentage that gets a deeper discount so that we can then pass those on to the racers that they so choose. Like, I just wish that there was some way, and KTM used to do this when I worked at a KTM dealership, where they allocated a certain amount of money per quarter that you could use for product support of the sponsored drivers.
That they gave to each dealership?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that the dealerships on the ground were the ones that were choosing and I would love to talk to somebody. It's been a long time since I was involved in that at all, about how that actually worked. But KTM just allocated to the shops. Okay, now you pick who you're going to sponsor. Now, obviously, on the highest end, they're handling that sponsorship directly. So, when we're talking Mayfields or Cavalieris or whatever, like the highest guys are going to get their sponsorship directly from the company. But anyone that would be on a regional level would get from the shops from the dealerships. If it was KTM, I think something like that could really help the RC community.
So I actually hadn't thought about this, what I'm about to say, before, when we talked about it earlier and now. You brought up the power sports industry, which we came from, and most of those contracts are now shifting away from, I'll say, salaries or guaranteed monies, and it's all going to performance based incentives.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and see, I just thought that through, and it actually backfires and is totally opposite of everything I said 5 minutes ago. So,
right. It's super complicated.
Well, it comes back to my opening to this whole conversation is that
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Holy
complicated.
crap.
It's a hard
Yeah.
subject to solve. But I will say, so let's just say there's a new Joe Blow. He's not a friend of anyone else. He just started into the hobby because he hung out with us every Wednesday on Hump Day Happy Hour, and then he came into the hobby shop. We sold him a Mugen. We got him all hooked up and ready to go. And a year later, he loves this hobby. He's doing really well, and now he's a sponsored driver. And instead of coming into the hobby shop and getting all those products from us, he's ordering everything direct. I think that's where, at least because we have a track, we still have him as a customer. Because if you were just a hobby shop and you didn't have the track, you don't have him as a customer anymore. You've lost him.
So earlier, I was about to interrupt you, but I refrained and you caught me anyway, but I made a note. So the whole brick and mortar versus mail order, the day that the racers figure out how to mail order a track to race at, will be extinct. But here's the cool part. You can't mail order the event. You can't. You can't mail order the event. So
but it all works together too. Like we were talking about earlier that I always make the joke that I love a sponsored racer.
Yeah.
I love a sponsored racer.
Especially
Give me
event.
Shane's talking about how many J Concept tires he buys in the comments, and he would love a deal. Of course you would, but what's even better than that? I sell a lot of tires to sponsored drivers because they can't get the tires and they have to run that tire. So when you're contracted to stay with a certain brand and that tire that works on the track is not available to you as a sponsored driver to purchase because literally there's not any of them in the country, but we have them, guess what? You're going to buy them because you need to run that brand, and you're not going to just run the second best tire or the fifth best tire because it's available. You want to have the product that does well out there. And this is where a lot of times you will see me discouraging certain racers from sponsorships, and it's because of that. Because when all of a sudden you can't do the best that you possibly can because you're held back by a product or held back by, even if you have a Mugen car that you need to install a team associated A-arm in order to have the hottest setup going right now. If you're held back where you can't do that because of a sponsorship deal, it makes the hobby a lot less fun. Oh, yeah, this is great. Nick says, get sponsorship and you lose the freedom of choice. Yeah, what if you want to buy a different things in the pursuit of speed? Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I'm saying, but that was better said than I said it. Ryan says, racers absolutely positively need to support their hobby shops. It is a must if they want the facility to race close by. Yeah, and I don't even just mean that about us. Obviously, it feels a little bit like a shameless plug right now. But I'm
Ryan Barnes, like,
I think it's a different Ryan Barnes.
Is it?
Yeah. But okay. I'm talking about whatever your local hobby shop is. I know that we cover a lot of people in these hump days that aren't necessarily local to us, but you need to support your hobby shop close to you.
So you it's not hit a nerve, but you rang a bell for me. The whole hey, listen, I'm a Mugen guy, and I have forced my wife to be a Mugen gal because that's how we roll, right? But here's the deal. If you live in Albuquerque and your local hobby shop is a
Losi.
They bleed Losi. Like,
they
that's just the deal. The guy,
the guy that owns that hobby shop loves Losi as much as Kevin loves Mugen. You better buy Losi.
I mean, the Losi cars suck right now. I'm sorry. But still, you should support the Losi guy
even
because that guy's always going to be on top of getting the parts for the car.
It is that Ryan Barnes. I'm sorry. I didn't think it was that Ryan Barnes. I thought it was a different one. Hi, Ryan. Sorry about that. Wow. I interrupted you. Apologize, honey. Yeah, Losi still exists.
Anyway.
Sorry.
So the moral of the story, and I actually use this in my sales pitch in the store. You know, what are you guys planning on racing at?
Yes.
And they're like, well,
Here.
here.
Okay,
I'm like, well, then, I mean, if you get Mugen cars, I can support you in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
And if I can't, I'll walk you outside and I'll introduce you to a couple of my new friends, Taylor and, you know.
The same people, if they came and they were asking about racing down at Richfield, we would tell them a team associated or a Mugen, depending on who they hung with.
Exactly. Exactly. I can't agree with you more.
Or a slash, but
well,
it depends
on
who
class
they are and what they're doing.
But if you're gonna race at someone else's track somewhere else, depending on where you're going, if I know the track, I can actually. Oh hey, I mean, you know I like the Mugen cars, but if you're gonna race over here at Joe's track, maybe you ought to run this other brand, because if that's going to be your home track, I know they super support that, and there's not a lot of Mugen support there. And when you're new, the worst thing for you is breaking your car and looking around and being like, I don't know what to do. And there's no one around you that can like reach in their box and pull out the arm you need, or, you know, you can't walk in the store and be like, hey, my car's broken. I need one of these, you know, and what do I do?
Yeah. Jason Massey just commented, and this is a little bit of a different topic, but I want to talk about it. He said, been to 3 hobby shops over the winter that he couldn't get parts from, and it's really sad reality that we have to carry our own parts. I will tell you from a hobby shop basis, or from us, from ordering and trying to keep the parts in stock, the more you support a hobby shop, the more you are making it possible for them to have the parts that you need. We were working on inventory all the time, and I'm telling you right now, you would not believe the amount of money we have sitting on the shelves at any given moment. And I hate to pick on like a company, but I'm going to anyway. X-Ray, for example. You know, we dipped our toe into having X-Ray parts, and they didn't sell very well. They're very expensive parts, and most of those guys are sponsored, and they have their own parts with them already.
Well, and so some of the parts sold well, but some of them didn't, because they release new parts all the time.
Yeah.
They would come out with hard, medium, and soft compound A arms, right?
Right.
And then there was the B revision and the C revision.
And then you get all those, and then they come out with a new car.
Oh, no. They sell them per A-arm.
Yeah.
For almost the price of a pair from everyone else.
Right.
And I get it. Like, I am knocking them, but I'm not trying to knock them, right?
But
like,
it's real. It's
yeah,
true.
Yeah. It's the truth.
And it might be great quality stuff that they love, and that's awesome, and I'm happy for them. But on the hobby shop side of it, it is very difficult to, first of all, know exactly which parts you should order, because you really have to be racing that car in order to know what to order.
100%.
So, you know, as a Mugen family, how the heck are you ever going to stay on top of what the hottest thing is? And you could say the same thing about any of these brands that pop up and do really well for a little while, or for, you know, X-Ray's been doing well for a while, but X-Ray or Serpent or HB, or you try to order these parts for these guys, and then it just can be short-lived, or a new car drops, or a new revision, and now you're stuck with all this old inventory. And the thing is that there's a huge investment into that. And now Jason says on the internet, hey, you know, I went to the hobby shop and they didn't have it. Well, maybe they didn't have it because this is the 20th car that's dropped in the last 2 years.
Well, this is my favorite part. They dropped the new car. So you order the new car and all the new car parts, and then 3 weeks into the racers running the new car, they're now all they want the old parts to put on the new car.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm now talking hobby shop inventory guy,
Yeah.
right? So I've shifted gears to, I'm not ordering the old shit anymore. I'm now focused on the new car, right? So I ordered all the new car and all the new parts for the new car, and then they're like, hey, I need the original hubs off of the last year's car.
Yeah. Because
like,
it's a better setup. And
I'm like, dude, I mean, I didn't discontinue it in the store, but like I had one on the shelf, but somebody bought that this morning. Like I don't have that.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, everybody's putting the old front end back on the new car, and
I'm not trying to toot our own horn, but like as far as being kind of in the know, I mean, we try to stay on top of this stuff. So if you're talking just a normal hobby shop that does a lot of basher, crawler stuff, there's no way they could stay on top of what's hot that you should have.
So when you guys go into a typical hobby shop and you're like, it's all basher stuff, and there's a few race car tires hanging on a wall and an old body that's covered in dust, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh man, this hobby shop sucks. We don't. You know what we get from the walk-in people? It went not on race weekends, mind you,
but every
but
other
normal week by week, right? When the front door opens and the basher walks in,
they're so disappointed by
they
our
look
inventory.
around and they're like, "Where's your armor parts?
Yep. Where's your armor parts?
Where's you don't have any SCX-10 too?"
Yeah.
I'm like, aren't you on like SCX-10-13 by now? Like, no, I don't know. Well,
yeah.
Where's your crawler tires? Like,
it's crazy. Rocky said a really nice comment that I wanted to share. He said, it's exactly what makes you guys so successful, that extra mile that you go to make sure everybody gets what they need to keep racing for the weekend, even if it means asking everyone at the track for a certain part. Yeah, no, I mean, really the most important thing to us as a track owner is that everyone is able to race and enjoy their time and not break down. There is nothing more disappointing than, we absolutely appreciate the time and money investment that it takes for you to take a weekend or 7 to come hang out with us all summer long. And so if you're here, we really want you to enjoy it. And we want you to get every ounce of that race time and really that you possibly can. We don't want you to break down. And if you did, we certainly don't want you not to be able to finish a weekend. If there's anything that we can ever do, we absolutely will. So if you're ever here and you have something happen, just like Rocky said, even if I don't have it in the hobby shop, I will work to try to find it for you. Just let us know. We can't read your mind, so just come to us and we'll help any way we can.
Yes, 100%. So back to that, we're Mugen people, but listen, we're fortunate enough to have enough entries and enough people attending our events that if you walk in with any of the major brands, now, I mean, some of the newer ones that are startups are a little tough, but like, if you're looking for, a techno part or a Kyosho part or an X-ray part or associated or something that we either the pin's empty or we didn't have it or something. If you tell the girls, hey, I didn't find this part in here, can you help me? They'll call. Like Christa knows a bunch of the kingpins too, so she might just handle it herself. But if not, if she doesn't know exactly what you're looking for, she'll call me and I'll be like, oh, I know, John Doe in the back runs that car. Let me go see if I can find that. And, we'll search around and scratch and paw and do whatever it takes to, find the stuff.
This is also the moment that I will remind you that all of our inventory is also online. So we keep a live inventory between what's in our store and online. We ship free for over $100. So if you're ever interested, some people were talking about the Mugen stuff and our inventory. Thank you so much for the kind words about our hobby shop. I know we're mostly race related, and we do our best to try to keep a good stock. I keep looking back at the store at all the stuff that we have. And just so you know, you can, if you need those things in between races or you're going somewhere else, just remember that we have it online as well. Hey, it's already 9 o'clock, believe it or not. That conversation just went phew. But we have a question that I definitely wanted to jump in, and I meant to talk about it today, but I forgot to add it to my list, which is the point series. I have a post that actually is going live here tonight yet. For some reason, Facebook says 9:45 is the best time to post on Facebook tonight. But anyway,
That's an hour after my bedtime ringer.
I know.
How is that?
But we have a LCRC point series again this year. Is going to include 6 of the 7 races. The one race that is excluded is the Halloween race, and we will be hosting the championships point series banquet directly following the Halloween race on that Sunday. So you can come for the event and just plan on staying one extra day. The Halloween race is usually cold. So like if you had to switch a day and not come on Thursday, but stay until Monday, that's what you should do.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we have this amazing banquet. There's a coveted blue jacket that you can earn for being the season champion. And you'll know it because you'll see the champions walking around in their blue coats from last year. They're pretty proud of those things, and some great guys got it. So yes, definitely doing the point series again, and we hope that you guys are able to participate in that.
Hey, breaking topic for a second,
Sure.
but Matt Adams asked about his M3 Custom Works ball studs coming. When you did the last Custom Works receiving, were there any new 8,000 numbers that you added?
Not that I noticed, no.
Okay. Matt, not that we're aware of just yet, but
I'm missing some other stuff too that I thought was coming.
Yeah, we didn't get bodies or anything. So Matt, message me in the morning, and I'll try and look into it. I've been so busy digging dirt the last 3 days, I really haven't been doing my inventory job very well. So apologize for that, but I will try and dig
Brian
back in.
from Washington State, thanks for hanging out. That's cool. I feel Nick says Nitro's the glory. Bring your Nitro, get one. Yeah, we have. There's Nitro buggy is a really big class at our track, but electrics also.
Yeah. So Ryan, to answer your question, if you look at our stats, because most of our races in the past we've had it's Nitro buggy, and then it's intermediate and expert e-buggy. So Nitro buggy has been very competitive numbers wise with expert e-buggy. But we've also diluted that by splitting it into intermediate. So, I mean, really, e-buggy still pays the bills, but Nitro buggy and Nitro truggy is now coming back a little bit more too. We still have a super strong Nitro following here. Some tracks in our region, maybe not so much, but we're still Nitro strong for sure.
For sure. Yeah. Hey guys, thank you so much for hanging out. We appreciate you so much. I just want to thank you for, I know we talked a lot about sponsorship and supporting your hobby shop. We want to thank you guys for consistently showing up and supporting our hobby shop. We're family run. It's my husband and I and my dad and Adeline running around here too. And
it's mostly my wife doing all the back end work. We just do the heavy lifting.
That's right. You do the heavy lifting. And Max has been hanging out in the hobby shop too. So
he's been hanging out under this table, kicking all of the fixtures all night.
Oh, but we just appreciate you guys allowing our family to do this for a living, and we hope that we can continue to prove it to you each and every week by doing more, shipping as quickly as we can, stocking the parts that you guys want, and just really showing up for you guys. So you guys keep showing up for us, and we'll keep showing up for you. We are grateful. And have a great week. Shane, Kevin will call you tomorrow. And Ryan, send us a message, because I tried to scroll back and find your comment and I couldn't find it. So send us a message about your Walsh bike. And I think that's everybody's questions. If I missed your question in the comments, just send us a DM or give us a call, and we will get you all taken care of. You guys have a great night.
Thanks, dear.
No, thank you, dear.